Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jonathan Myers here, talking for another podcast. Today, we're going to go over taking the emotion out of it. And this is going to be a little bit of a longer, well, I say it's going to be a little bit of a longer podcast. Um, it might not be. But, anyways, so there's a lot of things I wanted to go over. We're going to start off basically with closing and taking the emotion out of that, and also the daily work style of taking the emotion out of things. Um, you know, when you come to closing, as you know, when you're in the final presentation, when you're in the final call, or if you're doing one call closes even, in the very end, after you've just mentioned a price, that's usually when some of the objections that did not get covered come up. Actually, a lot of the objections will come up if you didn't cover them. But that's obviously the time when you start getting objections in general, is after you've mentioned price. Now, there might be a few things that happen at that point, like if you're talking to somebody who has an objection or value, like, oh, it's just not worth it or something like that. And let's say you have a great service and you know you have a great service, you probably did your whole discovery call wrong. You probably did everything to the point you went through it, but you probably didn't provide enough information to provide enough value for that prospect. You shouldn't be getting anything too crazy at the end of the conversation after you mention the price, with the exception of, maybe their hesitation. Um, if you're getting price at the very end, like, oh, I can't afford it, I don't want to do, or I don't want to spend that much, um, that means you didn't cover pricing somewhere in the beginning. Because if this is your final call, price should not be a total objection whatsoever. And it's not the price that actually brings up the objection. What brings up the objection is they know, it's like a cue for prospectors to know, okay, this is the end of the conversation. I have to make a decision. Um, and again, that's when they start bringing up objections. So when you have a prospect that tells you something, let's use lead generation as an example. It's something I'm very familiar with, so it's the only reason I use it as an example. Let's just say that you have somebody, you've already mentioned the price. It's like $3,000 a month. Okay, cool. For lead generation for high quality leads. And they're like, you know what, it's a little expensive for me right now. I don't really want to pay that much for lead generation. I can do it myself. It's just not something that, is there anything better you can do? Like, or what else do you have? Or is there anything, can I just do a little trial phase from you guys? You guys have heard it all, I'm sure. So these are just some small examples. So at this point, you've already asked their challenges. You already know what they're going through. You already know their struggles, their pain points. So you need to start bringing them back up. For this in specific, let's say he had mentioned in the beginning he's tried doing lead generation himself and he spends hours a week doing it with very little results. Let's say he's tried other companies as well, and that kind of makes him nervous a little bit. He mentioned that in the beginning too, because he doesn't want to put all this money into something that's not going to work. And let's just say another another challenge of him was just the knowledge of how to do it and not having the time to figure it out. So we'll say those are his three challenges. And now we're back at the end of the conversation, and he's saying that, you know what, I can just do it myself. It's a little more pricey than I was wanting to pay. It's not for me. Um, so that's when you talk to him. You're like, okay, hey, Michael, I appreciate you sharing that with me, man. I really do. But I mean, we're trying to help you out here, okay? What At the beginning of the conversation, you had mentioned you've already tried it yourself, correct? He's like, well, yeah, I did, and I was getting some results. And he's like, well, okay, and I appreciate that. Well, we're here to make sure you get quality results. If you've tried it at the beginning, you're going to be wasting tons of hours on something you don't even know how to do, and trying to figure it out. We've been doing this for years, and we're still getting better at it every day. We're great at it now, but we're still getting better each and every day. You're trying to figure all this on your own while juggling your business. Maybe taking small steps forward with this specific lead generation knowledge on yours. How long do you want to continue doing that and missing out on clients? Let them answer that question. You want to use this on them because they don't know how to do this. They've been spending hours a week doing this, and they'll answer your question obviously, and you'll have to go off of that. And another thing you can talk about is your time. Michael, your time. You spend hours a week doing this. how valuable is that time you spend doing this? Like, all right, so tell me real quick. Okay, Michael, you say hours a week. Get more specific with me on that. I remember you mentioned in the beginning, but I want to hear it again from you. How many hours a week do you spend on lead generation itself, trying to do it, trying to message out and do outreach? Let them answer you, and you're going to go with that part. Let's just say they do 10 to 15 hours a week just trying to do outreach. Like, okay, all right. Michael, you do 10 to 15 hours each week on lead generation. That's time that could be spent on your business or even responding to quality prospects that are ready to be closed on. How much is each prospect worth for you? If you convert them into a client, how much is each of them worth to you? Let them answer that. Okay, so, and if you're going to be spending 10 to 15 hours a week on prospects instead of clients, prospects that we've actually made sure that are good quality, let's say that's just going to equal 10 prospects altogether. That's it. Let's just say that equals a total of 10 prospects. Out of 10 prospects, how many do you think you'll convert? And obviously he's going to answer, well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on the quality, or something like that. I'm pretty sure. But let them think about it. Let them marinate on that. And just keep quiet. Let them answer. Okay, so I'm still. That's exactly what we're trying to. We're trying to help you with this. I'm still not really understanding what sort of this hesitation is preventing you from wanting to move forward, if this is the issue you're trying to solve. And let them answer again. Like, they'll start coming out about it. Maybe he might mention something else. Like, as I mentioned, I had a bad experience in the past. I'm still kind of wary about that. Okay, fair enough. All right, Michael. So, what's going to help you have that peace of mind? What can I do for you to give you that peace of mind? Stating that, you're comfortable on moving forward with us today. Just mention that to him. What can you do to give him peace of mind? And he'll let you know. Case studies, guarantees, if you have any whatsoever. He's going to ask about those, I'm sure, or she. And all of that, they're going to start laying some things down. What's going to make them more comfortable? And, it's like, and there's a reason why I say and label this podcast as letting the emotions go off the table. Because a lot of people, when they get to the objections, they either take it offensively and they get ruffled in their feathers, or they get nervous. And you don't need to do either. All they're doing is voicing concerns. They're not saying specifically no right away. They're just saying, I'm not really leaning towards going with you guys. I need to be talked into this because I'm nervous about this. I'm hesitant because of this and XYZ other reasons. So that's all an objection is. It's not a no, not at all. It's just a concern that needs to be answered. And you keep going off that. You keep asking these questions. It's not necessarily redirecting. It's digging. You're digging into why of their objection. Why do you feel this way, Michael? Why are you feeling hesitant? And then again, how you can provide a solution, and ask them, hey, how can I help you? How can I help you be more peaceful with this in your mind? And then ask again. A good thing to ask and clarify is, you need lead generation for your business, right? Like, yes. I do. I can do it myself, but but you clarifying that question to your prospect and asking them that specific question is gonna bring everything back to the table, and it's going to call them back up, and it's going to allow them not to be able to say, no, I don't need it. Because they already said it. They already said they needed it at the very beginning of the conversation if you covered it. And that's going to help you control things more, push it more towards your direction. Now, are all people going to convert over when you do this? No. There's people that will stand up and tell you, like, you know what, I just, I'd rather just do this myself. Again, I had a bad experience. It's just not worth $3,000 for me. It's a huge investment. Do you guys do pay by appointment or pay per lead? There's a lot of people that do stuff like that ask questions like that. And those people just you can't really convince them otherwise, because they're looking more on the dollar amount and the cheaper value, the cheap end of, I guess you could say. And it's not impossible. but it's very difficult to get somebody who's focused only on hiring low quality work for low price to invest in something that's great quality work for a high ticket price. And you don't really want to deal with those people anyways, because those people ultimately become very nitpicky, very needy per se. They end up constantly trying to talk to you about the results and what's going on. And you know, you got to go throughout your day and do better things. You don't need to be checking your email every 5, 10, 15 minutes. Me personally, I check my email maybe 3 times a day, unless I'm having an ongoing conversation with somebody that I know is either a client or somebody that's doing something specific in regards to moving forward with us, and we're just going back and forth on information like that. It's the only time I actually check it often, but even then I'll designate a time for that. If I'm focusing on another project, I won't even check the email until I'm done with that specific project. And then the emotional part of leading out of your work day. So, you know, today's a good example. I woke up today, you know, bright and early. Yeah, I just wanted to stay in bed. I did. I didn't want to do anything. I was like, it's the weekend. It's, you know, I'm ready just to chill. I just want to relax today. Those were my exact thoughts. You know, it's like, we got to do this. We just got to chill, relax, you know, let ourselves recover. Don't do that. Do not do that. Get up and just get moving. And even as you get moving, you're still going to have that voice in your head like, come on, just take it easy today. Just take it easy today. You've been doing work real well this week. You know, don't fall for that. All right. Take the emotions off the table and don't let them even be a factor. Do what you need to do. Do what you know you need to do. Get in there. And like today, for instance, as an example, what was the first thing I decided to do? All right. To get my blood flowing, to get myself moving, I made myself get up, make a pot of coffee. I love coffee, all right? So you do something that you love that makes you look forward to your day. You know, aside from doing the work, I love doing my work. I love it. I love talking to people. I love prospecting. I love closing on people. I love it. It's awesome. But it is mentally taxing, and you have to be wary of that. So get something going that you enjoy that while you do all this. I love having coffee while I do all this. I put some whipped cream on that thing and just had some good coffee coming in. It was awesome. Yeah, I made it fruit style. I don't normally do that, but I was like, this will be good. Anyways, so do something that's going to kind of get you uplifted, a little motivated. That's all you need. And at that point, just walk yourself another step forward and be like, okay, we're taking one step at a time. Don't even think about the end of the day. Don't even think about how many hours you're going to do for the day. Just get in there and start doing something. So again, from that point, I just started getting on. I put on a little educational video, just something to kind of like talk to me about. Not motivation. I'm not talking motivation. You know, motivation is great, but I think people rely on that too heavily. You should not have to do a motivational video to get yourself psyched. Now, however, if you do, then cool, awesome, whatever. But I put an educational video based on what I do. That's consulting on sales and prospecting. And watching that video, just let them walk through to doing, you know, some of the tactics they use on certain things, on closing itself and utilizing platforms to do prospecting. That got my mindset in the game, because it gets your mindset thinking about something else aside from not wanting to work. It gets your mindset in the game of thinking, oh, here's some ideas you can use for prospecting, or here's some ideas you can use for closing. And so at this point, you're starting to think about what you do. Like, okay, this isn't so bad, you know? All right, let's get moving. Let's get rolling. And you know what? Like, as soon as I saw that video, you know, the full truth in the matter, I got an idea that I wanted to put with the podcast. And I started doing the podcast. And now, you know, I'm at point B right now, fully stoked, fully motivated, fully awake, ready to roll. Just get up and do it. When yourself is telling yourself to lay down and just take the day off, don't do it. You're going to do yourself hurt. You're going to do yourself damage. Remember, take emotional off the table, because it's going to kill and destroy your business if you keep it in your business. What you do today affects tomorrow. What you do this week affects next week. Remember that. And it can even affect longer than just next week. It can do the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on what you do and how hard you work. That's pretty much it for today. We appreciate you listening to this podcast. Again, my name is Jonathan Myers. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/the Jonathan and Myers, JonathanMeyers. And then you can also find me on LinkedIn. It's a linkedin.com things backslash Jonathan JONATHAN dash MEYERS dash HTC. So hit me up on LinkedIn, hit me up on Facebook. You know, you want to DM me for some questions, advice, whatever, I'm there. Other than that, everybody have a great day. We'll talk soon.